Hey everybody, Jason Burmis here with John Fitch. Obviously clicked on the wrong set. That's the magic of Jason Weird. Not Hollywood, but Jason Weird here. Fitch, more and more frequently, we have been leading with hardcore news stories than MMA. It's hard not to these days, right?
Well, we had a little bit of a stoppage, at Bellator. Things slowed down. But yeah, things are weird. Things are really weird.
They're beyond weird. And this latest push for the boop boop passports, I kind of want to leave it to the media and these different clips that we're going to play. We will talk some MMA. I watched the return of Bellator. I think they did a piss poor job at marketing once again. I don't know about you, but first of all, they didn't even have it on YouTube for the prelims at first, right? It was on their own site. You couldn't pause or rewind it. Then there was really no commercialization for it being on Showtime. On top of that, John, they led it with, what do you think they led it with? What came on? What was the lead?
Gilmore Girls.
Nope. Godfather 2.
Oh, really?
Now,
Okay.
I love The Godfather 2. I love the series, but to lead it with that was a lot. So, guys, listen. I know
no Bellator lead-in like promo show or nothing.
nothing.
Come on, Showtime.
Nothing on CBS Network, nothing on Paramount, nothing on Viacom, anywhere else other than their website. Bad move. I want to get away from that because, I want to keep the viewers over here on YouTube and realize this is going to be a very serious show. In fact, it's going to go a lot bigger than just the mixed martial mindset. We're going to get into this Smirkonish clip about boop boop passports very shortly. Now, before I do that, John, there's me and Mr. Smirkonish, I don't know, a decade plus ago. I think that's 2006 or 7, going back and forth about 9/11, I will admit. Not my proudest interview. I think that was my first big mainstream media interview where I was on MSNBC, and then I did his radio show. And I really kicked his ass on his radio show, but he's still, you watch the clip. We're going to watch it with the audience now. He basically made the no shirt, no shoes, no service argument for these boop boop passports. Now, never in the history of humanity has every business owner had some kind of access to your medical records on the basis of whether you get to enter or not. It is nothing like the same thing. And what would you say to somebody that makes that argument, John?
No, because they're trying to say that you don't get access to everything in your medical records, but you're still asking for one specific thing. What's the difference between asking for a AIDS, HIV diagnosis? You must show whether or not you're HIV free to enter my establishment. What's the difference?
Can you imagine the outrage that there would have been had, at the peak of HIV and that, had anything like this been suggested? But listen, this is what we're going to do. We're going to play this clip. We got the CNN clip. We got a bunch of clips of them trying to push the boop boop passport in Connecticut. We got people standing up in Pennsylvania. We got people standing up in Wisconsin. We got Missouri saying he won't mandate it, but he's open to the corporate boop boop passports. So again, it's going to be through coercion and a two-tier citizenry. If you're not signing to ban them altogether, you're part of the problem. Let me repeat that. If you're not signing like Ron DeSantis, and you notice DeSantis is in the news all over the place now, right? And you notice bad things are happening in his state, they're going to continue to happen. Anything that goes wrong there, whether it's real or contrived or a setup, they're going to pile on. Like that toxic waste thing just happens out of nowhere. Pretty convenient.
If somebody gets eaten by an alligator, it was his fault.
Listen, you're dead on. So let's get to Smirkonish.
Alligators are afraid of masks.
Now, remember, they always have to frame it like, there's some concerns, but overall, they're always going to push the same agenda. And here is bootlicker Smirkonish.
Are so-called vaccine passports the key to reopening post-pandemic America, or an unwelcome intrusion by Big Brother? Unfortunately, this has become yet another partisan battle.
Nothing partisan about it. Let's stop that. That's a false premise. There are plenty of people that have voted Democrat all their lives that don't want the mark of the Juden digitally on their phone. Okay, guys? I want to make sure you understand that. False argument.
This week, New York became the first state to formally launch a virtual health credential to enable businesses to more easily grant access to people who've been inoculated or tested negative. The so-called Excelsior Pass, created in partnership with IBM, provides a scannable code that gives proof of vaccination or COVID-free status.
So let's stop it right there, John.
What's the most ridiculous name for something? Excelsior. How's that not from like fucking the Capitol?
Well,
Excelsior. Pass to the Capitol.
Let's just say this. The thumbnail here has Mr. Smirkonish in front of two different things. One of them is one of several devices used by IBM to basically find out whether or not you were going to be a good worker in the camps and how long you would last on behalf of Nazi Germany. Let me repeat that for you. Nazi Germany openly worked with IBM. Anyone can read a book called IBM and the Holocaust by Edwin Black. You can also, if you are so inclined, if you're more of a I like to listen to podcasts guy, you type in Edwin Black at cspan.org, and you can listen to Edwin Black talk about IBM and the Holocaust. And basically, they created the first tabulating / computer models to decide who lived and died during that time in Germany, John. Guess who's behind this passport? Guess who we're going to be talking to? An IBM representative. Oh. It's so weird that nobody from IBM went to jail for that. They remained in power, and now the next level of it is being introduced by them. So let's continue with Smirkonish.
Totally not suspicious.
Totally okay, right? It's totally fine.
The Biden administration has so far remained out of the fray. Spokeswoman Jen Psaki said it was, quote, concentrating on guidelines while noting that there will not be a centralized federal vaccination database and there are no plans for a federal mandate that all citizens have such a vaccination credential. But there's still been a lot of pushback. On Friday, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis signed an executive order banning the use of COVID-19 passports in his state. His order says in part, quote, individual COVID-19 vaccination records are private health information and should not be shared by a mandate. So-called COVID-19 vaccine passports reduce individual freedom and will harm patient privacy.
1,000%. 1,000%. That's not a Democratic or Republican issue. And by the way, Flick Off, thank you so much for that generous tip over at the Rockfin right now. And by the way, we're on both platforms.
South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem linked the policy to the president, tweeting, the Joe Biden COVID passport proposal is one of the most un-American ideas in our nation's history. We as Americans should oppose this oppression. #freedom.
Now, let me stop this right here because we're going to get into some of this in a moment. But what I want to let people know is they're setting you up because it's going to be through coercion. The Missouri governor here does not go far enough. Let me tell you why. Watch. Listen to him.
They've got backup lists. They've got people they can do. If the private sector wants to do that, I'm fine with that.
No, it's not fine. See, the private sector mandating such a thing, we're going to play this. Have you seen the health pass yet?
They have no right to ask me, when's the last, God, do you have hepatitis? Do you have diabetes?
We're going to play these news clips as well. But what I do want to show you is that Connecticut is getting ready to do this. They're all for it. And this has hit my little small town. Little Falls, okay, is 20 minutes away from where I grew up with Amish people. I graduated with 50 kids. All right. Now, Lord Cuomo has said they can open up at 33% the performing arts centers if they use the slave pass. He is mandating the slave pass. And now we have celebrities who want a sticker on your business saying it's a wellness place that's going to work more and more of these people out. Listen, it's a big broadcast here.
Another layer of bureaucracy. Like, look, when I was in Thailand a long time ago, there were stores that had these clean store-like symbols in them.
Mm-hmm.
And it's for when tourists are in town, they see the clean store symbol, they're more likely to go and eat at that place because you're not going to get sick, whatever. But when you talk to the people who like stay there for long periods of times, like the clean store symbol, it doesn't mean anything.
Not a
It's just,
thing.
it's just those people make more money from the tourists, so they can pay for the extortion of getting that sign. And that's all it is. They're paying for the sign, they're greasing the palm, and then people who are touring, going, tourists coming through think it's I'm making sure my rice isn't, touching somebody's butt.
It's incredible, and it is where we are headed. So let's Smirkonish right here. Let's keep going. Let's bring IBM in. But now, see, John, you're racist if you say that IBM's doing this to help control people because it's a black man that's telling us all this, and it's crazy what he says, by the way.
Justin Amash, the libertarian who served as a GOP and independent congressman, wrote, "It doesn't get more dystopian than being required to show your health papers wherever you go. Should private businesses be permitted to require so-called vaccine passports?" Joining me now to discuss is Jason E. Kelly, general manager for IBM, where he's working on digital healthcare pass technology. Jason, explain briefly, how does Excelsior work?
Hello, Michael. Good morning. Great to be with you. First, we like to think about this in three parts. There is an issuer, the individual, you, Michael, and then the verifier. And when New York tested this technology weeks back, I'll give you an example in that context, is we had some of our team in IBM went straight there to New York, were tested for the COVID-19 virus, and with a negative test, that testing agency became the issuer. And then that individual became the individual that received a QR code, no private data, just a QR code
if they can
on their
just
cell
talk
phone.
slow enough, like you're really stupid, that you'll be like, oh, okay, I guess if I don't get it, I must be stupid. But no, like we get it, we understand. Like
They're
just
not
showing
even hiding it, John.
whether or not you had, like you're tracking that you're tracking it. It's a tracking.
And when they entered the event, in this case, Barclays Centers or Madison Square Garden, that entity was then the verifier. So think of those three areas, the issuer, the individual, and that verifier as a trust triangle. That's how it works.
A trust triangle.
If I go to Yankee Stadium, because it's New York, the Excelsior rollout is New York. I go to Yankee Stadium, and let's imagine that there's a requirement of people having to prove that they've been inoculated, and I flash my phone and I gain admittance. Am I giving up my
so
medical
easy?
records
Any dumb
to
idiot
anybody,
would
to
be able to
IBM,
do
to the
it. Oh my
Yankees,
God.
to anyone concerned?
What you're doing in that situation is just giving up a QR code.
See how they keep? It's just a QR code. It's just a QR code. You see how Smirkonish is like, oh no, it's private.
It's a QR code tied to you that says whether or not you had a medical procedure. Correct? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
It's a QR code that's tied to you digitally and to your medical records about a medical procedure that you went through.
1,000%, John. 100%.
Okay.
And they're trying to talk around it, and they're calling it a circle of trust. Remember, that's a
That's
joke.
a trust triangle. It's trust triangle, bro.
I'm sorry. I was thinking about
Triangle of hope.
I was talking about Meet the Fockers because that's how ridiculous it is.
Oh,
Remember the
yes.
circle of trust? You're in Robert De Niro's circle of trust right here.
And this triangle of trust, the government's triangle of trust.
But it's not even. It's the corporate government. Let's keep playing it, John.
Well, we know who's in the control. We know
Yes.
who's running.
Let's do it.
None of that data about you personally is on your phone. So think privacy as a priority.
What do you mean that data? The data
So
that you
it's being
took a
cast,
shot.
though,
You
in
got a
some
boot.
quarters, and
You
you
got-
heard my intro, as this abridgment of individual freedom, as Big Brother now being to tap into all this data harvesting. When you hear that, with your knowledge of the program that you folks at IBM have designed, what's your reaction?
Now let me stop it here. He never says that that's not the case. Okay, he actually talks about it right now being scalable, and just talks around the whole thing in this triangle of trust, John. He doesn't really have a good response.
When I think about what we have provided in this work with the New York State and around the world, this is a global solution that's open. It's letting all different types of health credentials be used. So that's for both, as you said, vaccine and for a negative test. When I think about that, I think of a tool that helps people use what they want to use with their option. So it's optional, it's accessible, it could be on a phone or in print, and it's scalable. So that's what I think about.
Scalable.
Jason, what industries?
Did you hear that? That's what I think about, John. He never answered the question at all. He never ever even answered it. I think about it being scalable.
Come top of mind when you think of where this technology would be most beneficial? For example, hearing what you've said to me, I'm immediately thinking of the cruise industry, right? They've been flat on their back. They're eager to get back into the game. They want to make sure that they're providing a safe environment. I mean, am I on the wrong path? And what other industries do you think might this be attractive to?
Let me just stop that. So
what other industries might this be attractive to?
Not only that, but where is it? Let's see if I can find it here. WinStar. By the way, Bloomberg saying we have a permanent pandemic now. So just get ready for it. They're already telling you all this stuff. Let me just type it into here. We'll do it live. WinStar. I think it was WinStar. Yes. So even if you are vaccinated, they're requiring that to sail. You still have to wear a mask the whole time you're on the cruise, and you still have to social distance. So all this talk about us going back to normal with the boop boop pass and what it's beneficial to is all a bunch of Johnny nonsense by Snake Conish here. Okay?
Yeah, you don't even get the that's stupid.
All right, let's keep.
You're gonna get it and nothing changes. Like you still can't go out, be outside dining. You still gotta wear a mask. Who cares?
Well, when I think of
industries, you have less than a 1% chance of dying.
I think of it from your perspective, Michael, my perspective as a consumer. Is what is it that's going to be important for us to get back into what we do in daily life? It could be transacting with those small businesses that have been impacted so greatly by this pandemic. Or it could be a cruise ship. It could be a theater. It's those things that we have come to value in public life. And this tool is important as an option, whether in print or on that phone, to help those activities happen again.
When I want to get a piece of pizza or an ice cream cone on the Ocean City Boardwalk in the summer in New Jersey, I'm used to seeing that sign that says no shoes, no shirt, no service. Maybe this is the extension of it, right? If a private employer, a private business seeks to take it in that.
You see him wink at? You see him wink at him? Everybody needs to watch that again. Hold on, we're gonna go full Smirconish here. The snake, he winks at him. He winks at his corporate dark overlord. Hold on, let's get it back over. He's like, ha ha, we're in business together, baby. MSNBC. Here we go.
On the Ocean City Boardwalk in the summer in New Jersey, I'm used to seeing that sign that says no shoes, no shirt, no service. Maybe this is the extension of it, right? If a private employer, a private business seeks to take it
there it is, the wink. Hey! let me maybe I can freeze it right on his little wink face. It's part of it. Hold on, here we go.
A private business seeks to take it in that direction. It might
Son of a bitch. The private business. This is all about coercion, and there's going to be more and more of this. So, let's play some clips. Again, we might go live, guys, onto the Union of the Unwanted, which I was scheduled for, but they bumped it up an hour. And Fitch has never been there, and who knows what we could be running into. It could be a big surprise. But
I came on once, a long time ago.
Did you go on the Union of the Unwanted once? All the way back?
Once. I usually have the kids, so it's hard to go.
Oh, yeah, I think you did do it once. You're right. All right, so let's play this one first. This is the actual plan, okay? The thing is, they don't want to see you enjoying life and not having problems, so this is the carrot on the stick. You know what the carrot on the stick means, John? You never get the carrot.
You gotta lead the goofus ass down the path while he carries all your shit.
Yeah, but you never get anything.
No, you don't get the carrot.
You don't get the carrot at the end, like ever at all. But let's hear out of their own words.
Clear to them that the vaccine is the ticket back to pre-pandemic life. And the window to do that is really narrowing. I mean, you were mentioning, Chris, about how all these states are reopening. They're reopening at 100%. And we have a very narrow window to tie reopening policy to vaccination status. Because otherwise, if everything is reopened, then what's the carrot going to be? How are we going to incentivize people to actually get the vaccine? vaccination. So that's why I think the CDC and the Biden administration needs to come out a lot bolder and say, if you're vaccinated, you can do all these things. Here are all these freedoms that you have.
Keyword, here are all these freedoms that you have. Guess what? Joe Biden
If you get poop.
didn't give me any freedoms. George H.W. Bush didn't give me any freedoms. Donald Trump didn't give me any freedoms. All right?
None.
Sorry. So and how ironic is it that you have some woman of Asian descent who, may or may not, because I don't know her history or her past, but certain Asian cultures certainly come from authoritarianism and oppression, right? You were talking about your time in Thailand. You were talking about, we talked about North Korea, China, obviously. I mean, give me a break. Where's the pushback? Let's finish it up.
Because otherwise, people are going to go out and enjoy these freedoms anyway.
Oh, no!
Oh my goodness. What
John.
do we do? How dare people enjoy their freedoms?
John, this is enjoy your freedom. So let's
How dare you?
let's play this clip here, because this is where it all comes down to. This is Klaus Schwab telling you in July,
Klaus.
things are not going back to normal.
So people assume we are just going back to the good old world which we had, and everything will be normal again in how we are used to normal, in the old fashion. This is, let's say, fiction. It will not happen. The cut which we have now is much too strong in order not to leave traces.
More than traces. So this is how they want to do it. They want to coerce you with the health safety seal. Are you ready? These are the celebrities that are going to help save the world.
Yep.
If you want to get back to your favorite
why?
places and feel confident they have put your health and safety first,
Look for the Well Health Safety Seal.
Well, thank you,
Look for
Michael
the
B.
Well
Jordan.
Health Safety Seal.
Oh,
Look for the Well Health Safety Seal. I'm Dr. Richard Carmona, the 17th Surgeon General of the United States of America. This is the Well Health Safety Seal from the International Well Building Institute, the global authority on healthy buildings.
they're the global authority on healthy buildings, John.
So creepy. Healthy buildings.
The Well Health Safety Rating was informed by
It's
years of
it's
research.
a shakedown. It's just another shakedown. It's another way for the government to extort more money from small businesses.
Yes.
You're gonna have to pay us. You're gonna have to pay us for the symbol, and you're gonna have to pay us monthly to fucking get checked and make sure you're compliant with the symbol's rules and shit.
And this is all going to be in line with the carbon credits, okay? And you're using too much carbon, and you got to have the air filtration system, and you have too many employees. You got to go to automation. This is the
And then
slave bill.
you're gonna have to socially credit score everybody who comes through and uses your service.
Everything. This is it. So let's keep going, because it's great people like Wolfgang Puck, a bunch of millionaires, multimillionaires, and entertainers telling you need the Well Health Safety Seal.
And input
They
from
look out for my
hundreds of
best
leading
interests.
virologists, public health experts, epidemiologists, and building professionals around the world.
You'll see it at schools, offices, banks, childcare centers, all the places we go.
The Well Health Safety
places
Seal
we
means
go.
that we'll feel better going into restaurants.
theaters, stores, hotels,
Stadiums,
Pads.
and all the places that we love.
Everything may look the same, but the Well Health Safety Seal means that your health and safety are top of mind when it comes to
Cleaning and sanitation.
Everything might look the same, but these people are compliant with our vaccine
Sticker
passports.
on the window makes you safe.
And now we have Deepak. Oh, thank you, Deepak Chopra. Oh, thank you.
Sanitizing procedures.
Air and water.
Sanitizing procedures. All right, John, this drove me nuts. So I went across the bridge, right? I was pretty normal. I'm pretty much rocking a mask nowhere anymore. Now if someone says something to me, it's just like, yo, you need to back up. But I went to Illinois, where it's total slave grid, and they'll like literally kick you out. It will be a scene, like something out of So I walk into a Marshall's, right? And I go to grab a cart, and they're still on the spray everything down kick. And this woman who was like 6 feet away from me was like, oh my God, you want me to spray that down? I'm like, no, I don't want you to spray it down for me. I don't need you to spray it down. Everything's okay. I almost wanted to say to her, listen, man, if you'd like, what I could do is I could take the mask off and I will lick
No,
the handle
should've licked
of everyone. Yeah, and then I'll hug you. What do you think? Like, I'll put the mask back on so you feel safe, and I'll hug you. What do you? I mean, that's how I felt. That's where we're at. Like, am I gonna have to look for the slave seal everywhere?
Water quality management.
Emergency
the
preparedness
tattooed on your
programs.
forehead.
And health services.
So look for the Well Health Safety Seal outside.
And feel more confident going inside.
So this is my advice to anybody that still has a brain. If you see that anywhere, you not only don't go there, you immediately call them up from outside and say, "Hi, I'm outside. I was going to come here. You have that seal here. I never want to see it again. Get rid of it or I'm done. I'm done. I'm done." Anywhere. If it's your doctor, you need to get rid of this. This is the mark of I am compliant.
Mark of the beast.
Dude. So, I'm so glad you said that. Have you seen the pastor that stood up to these bastards?
Yep, kicked them out.
Let's
get a warrant. Get a warrant.
Let's play that because days later, well, let me say this. Days later, there was a protest out in Canada. I believe Dan Dix of Press for Truth, and shout out to Dan Dix. By the way, we don't even have 100 thumbs up. Can we get 100 thumbs up, please? Over there
guys.
in YouTube.
222 watching.
What's going on? We got a 220 watching. 220 watt, and that's just on the
thumbs.
YouTube.
People.
After the protest, it took 5 police cars and about a dozen plus officers to pull over that pastor for a traffic violation. But so listen, this is what you need to do.
Oh, so they got him for a traffic violation because they couldn't get him for other shit.
They didn't get him really for a traffic violation either. It sounds like a bunch of nonsense. But again, this is what you do to people.
Please get out. Get out of this property. Immediately get out. Get out of this property immediately. Out. I don't want to hear anything. Out of this property immediately. I don't want to hear a word. Out. Out of this property immediately until you come back with a warrant. Out. Out.
It's a warrant.
Out.
Get it.
Out. Out. Out of this property immediately. Out.
They didn't know he did exorcisms.
Go out and don't come back. I don't want to talk to you. Not a word.
Watch
out.
this. Now this is an important part, John. At this point, when he finally uses the term Nazi, okay, I want you to look at the cop on the left with the sunglasses, okay? Because as he says it, he nods in agreement and then puts his head down as he walks out. Because even he realizes on a subliminal level, yeah, no, we have become Nazis, but I got to keep my job. This is how it happened, people. Do you think that everybody that had a swastika on their arm was a bad person? Do you think that? Because a lot of them weren't. They got caught up in this. They got brainwashed.
I was just putting people on a train.
They didn't know. They were doing exactly what these people are doing now.
Job.
So again,
he wasn't wearing a mask. He wasn't wearing a mask. I put him on a train.
That's right. He didn't want to wear a mask. Put him on a train. So again, he's going to say, "Out, Nazi." Notice the police officer on the left.
Out of this property immediately. Out. I don't care what you have to say. Out. Out. Out of this property, you Nazis. Out.
He's like, "Yeah,
out.
We're Nazis." He literally watch it again.
Out. Out. Out of this property, you Nazis. Out.
He's like, "Yeah."
Out.
Yeah.
Gestapo is not allowed here.
I'm a Nazi. He's like the first one. Notice he wants to be out of there. He's like, this guy's 100% right. He nodded and walked down. And notice he kind of just waited because now the authority doesn't realize that they're still Nazis. He gets it. No, I'm part of the Nazi squad.
And out.
I don't want to be here.
Do you understand English? Get out of this property. Go. So go. Go. And don't come back without a warrant. Out, Nazi. Out. Out.
It's my boy.
You understand? Nazis are not welcome here. Out. And don't come back without a warrant. Do not come back without a warrant. You understand that?
Do not come back without a warrant. I want that. I want that on a sound clip. So let me get that on a sound clip.
It needs to be highlighted on like a rap video.
It's gonna be my doorbell.
Is it? I'll get you an MP3. I'll make an MP3
Do
for
not
you.
come back, you Nazi psychopaths.
Back without the word.
Unbelievable, sick, evil people. Intimidating people in a church during the Passover. You Gestapo, Nazi, communist, fascists. Don't you dare coming back
You
here.
Gestapo, Nazi, communist.
Can you
That's
imagine
great.
those psychopaths?
Got it.
Psychopaths. Love it.
Passover, the
got it.
holiest Christian festival in a year, and they're coming to intimidate Christians during the holiest festival? Unbelievable.
And this is what you get.
Unbelievable.
So get ready, because you do have to fight, folks, and you will get, I mean, it might even get worse than this.
So here you can see, this is what it takes to take down a pastor in Brantford, apparently. Yeah, no problem. I just wanted to, it's just an amazing takedown operation for a pastor, so I thought it'd be phenomenal to get this on camera. I'm really sorry that all of you are complicit in this tyranny, but hey, I hope you wake up and realize how stupid what's going on, that for attending, apparently, allegedly, a gathering celebrating the freedom of our country, that you're doing this. But hey, it's not a proud moment for your force, is it? Yeah.
So there you go. Wild times, Fitch. Wild times. They're going after pastors
Wild.
who don't want to wear masks and want to just do their thing in a religion. They're telling you you can't have your freedoms unless you have some kind of a national passport. We got a serial killer.
Can't get into baseball games. You can't sit outside in a park.
Bro, I'll never.
Without a special license and your face helmet.
I'll say it again. I will never, ever, 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 ever go to a Yankee game again. I'll never go to New York City again if the passport comes to something like that. So before we go, and
I like what I like the way I like it. It doesn't take much uncomfortableness or like whatever, to make me just be like, man, I'm not doing it anymore.
Yeah.
It really doesn't. Little things. Like I used to be like really into like football, but like I just haven't watched football at all in like 10 years. I have no idea who plays where or anything. So like, yeah.
So let's play some of this.
It's gonna be at home a lot, doing a lot of projects.
I'll tell you right now.
Maybe I'll start making my own whiskey and roll my own cigars, grow my own cannabis. That'll get some chickens. That'll be my life. I don't need this.
Thinking about it today, man. I'm looking for new spots. I'm gonna find probably a farm spot. Let's go crypto. It's been doing pretty well. So this actually, I forgot about this one. This is them trying to push again the vaccine passport in Connecticut because they've done it so well in New York. So here's some more propaganda for everybody.
All right, you use a passport to travel, but what about a vaccine passport to get into concerts or sporting events? News 12 Connecticut's John Craven looks at whether it's coming to our state.
What if you needed an app to prove you're vaccinated before you go out to eat? It could soon be a possibility. New York just launched one. The Excelsior Pass can get you into spots like Madison Square Garden.
Wow, it could get you into spots like Madison Square Garden. Now, wait.
Finally, oh my God.
Now here we go. They just like everybody loves it. It's the best idea ever. And again, they think they're going to be able to take their masks off afterwards. But I just showed you. You don't get to take your mask off afterwards. In fact, they might tell you 2's not enough. Maybe you need 3 on and 4 in your asshole. I'm just saying.
Here in Connecticut, venues
I think you'll have
are
to be in a
taking
big socially distanced bubble thing, not talking to anybody.
a wait-and-see approach.
It's a little premature.
So is Governor Lamont.
I think the private sector will probably take the lead there.
See, private
let's
sector?
not get ahead of ourselves.
Renee Santa Maria says she'd use it.
I would. Because I work in the public.
I think it's a great idea. I think it's perfect.
Yeah, I think it's a good way to control, people traveling and give people the opportunity.
It's a great idea. Are you listening to these
Great!
people?
What a great way to control people. Oh, keep them from moving around and shit. Oh,
dude.
Jeez.
You get going again.
Yale's Dr. Albert Coe likes the idea too.
Of providing those incentives. If you want to travel,
if you want to, go to a restaurant.
I have to ask though, isn't this kind of a slippery slope?
Isn't it kind of? We're already way past the slippery slope. We're in the jaws of the beast.
We done slipped.
What are they talking about? Slippery slope? And this guy's going, well, there is a fine line. No, dude, you're an idiot. Like, you are a bootlicking enemy of humanity. We're done with the fine line. We're way beyond the fine line. We're way beyond it.
I mean, on one hand, we're telling people we're not going to force you to get this, but on the other hand, you're going to have this app to go anywhere.
There is
well, on the other hand, we are telling you this.
fine line between being too coercive and potentially stigmatizing to people who decide not to take the vaccine.
And some people are worried about privacy.
Absolutely, because there's a lot of situations out there where people, there's a lot of spamming.
Who cares about the spamming? And this lady's like, yeah, but I want to do stuff. Watch.
But it's better to know, who has it and who doesn't have it, honestly. Because we all want to take these masks off and get on with our lives, too.
Well, the app in New York debuted this week.
Take off your mask, though, hon.
Take it off now. You have the power. So listen, this is Wisconsin. I haven't even played this yet, so this is a first timer. Let's see what they're saying there. If I can say that, what's this?
It's bizarre. It's bizarre because there's absolutely zero reason for them to shoot anybody walking down the street or whatever with a mask on. When they're setting up a camera, you can be 6 feet away. You understand. I don't believe in science. Well, yeah, science says that you're safe 6 feet away, outside. You're safe. Science says so. So why are we putting people on camera and making sure that they're wearing a mask? They don't need to. It doesn't need to be there. Like that, you have to understand that because they're not going to they're not giving a good interview. It's muffled. You can't hear them. You don't look good in a mask. So it's not good for TV. So why they're doing it on purpose to force you to visualize yourself in a mask? It's like putting people in chains all the time. Oh, it's just normal. Everybody's wearing chains all the time. So I guess it's fine that I'm wearing chains all the time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Is that not?
I agree 100%.
Does anybody else get that? Is that just me?
No, it's total training. I can't. Listen, man.
Like that. Maybe it's because I've been on cameras before. It's like everybody's far away from you. They have mics far away. It's like usually even more than 6 feet.
Well,
they're usually 10 or 12 feet away.
Well, how about
sometimes
this, man? Why is it that it's okay, all this rigorous testing, that we can have sports, that SNL can have a whole show without masks on? Come on, it's all nonsense. Me and you both know this by now. And everybody who's down in Florida and all these places that are open, they understand it, but they want to have this. They want programming. That's what this is, programming. So let's see. I haven't even seen this one. This is.
Well, it is. This is. I said to I talked to my mom the other day because it's Easter, and I was just talking about how everything is ridiculous, and she was kind of agreeing too. But they've already had their boops, whatever. And she was telling a story how she went to get her shot, and she went to the thing, and she had totally forgot her mask, and she went through the whole thing, and nobody said anything to her. So she was at the medical, with the doctors and the nurses and everybody, and she went through the whole thing and didn't have her mask on, and it was like, oh my God, I explained to her that, it's all kind of ridiculous. Florida hasn't really been shut down, and they have less deaths than California. California's been completely shut down.
Yeah.
So
and by the way, did you see they took off?
But she didn't like to hear that though. She didn't want to hear that.
No one wants to hear the truth when they've been a part of a lie.
She wanted to focus on the infections and
the
whatever.
Listen, man. Did you see the guy they tore out of Disneyland? He had spent $15,000 on a vacation, still wore the masks. Everybody's right next to each other anyway, and he didn't want the gun to the head temperature check at the gate. So he got hauled off by the police officers. We got people at Disneyland wearing masks. It's still not good enough because they don't want a goddamn temperature check. That's ridiculous anyway. Let's see what this says right here. This is Pennsylvania lawmakers maybe talking some sense and saying, hey, this is nuts.
And the release of New York's virtual vaccine passport now sparking political debate nationwide of how to best reopen the country. Many GOP lawmakers are already working to ban the technology in their state, fearing the app is a breach of privacy. Most recently, Pennsylvania senators started drafting legislation to prohibit vaccine passports as a way to block people from routine activities. Meanwhile, some Democrats say if implemented carefully, the technology could allow for a safer reopening. The Biden administration, meanwhile, is reported to be considering federal guidelines for vaccine passports, but still has concerns of accessibility and security of the app.
It's all bullshit. It's all bullshit. All right, what do you say? Let's check in on the Union of the Unwanted. Let's see if we can get in there. Let's see if I can copy this link address and get ourselves in there. Thumbs the video up, subscribe, and share, guys. Boom. We're in Zoom. Open Zoom meetings. Let's go. There's that. Join with video. Bam. Why are they muted? Hold on. See, we're going to join with computer audio, so hopefully we'll be able to hear him in a second.
Levers of power than to actually just nationalistically dominate the U.S. So they're not going to call out ISIS because they use ISIS. They use it against their own.
Oligarchies help oligarchies.
Or they just, they use those same mechanisms. So they don't want to expose this. Like they don't want to reveal the method of how superpowers suppress their own national interests in favor of some international elite.
We're used to thinking versus, Soviet Union versus the States. That's the story we were sold in the 60s, the race between this and that. In reality, if you go above the official level, there's a cross connection between the elites and the elites. And I couldn't care less about calling each other's bluffs. That's okay. You won this one, we win the next one. It's not a problem for them.
That's why I always thought the idea that the moon landing was a hoax in order to win the Cold War was rather noble. Like, I actually thought it was a noble lie, too noble even for the U.S. government to do. Like, I think there must have been a deeper reason to perpetuate that hoax than simply to dominate Russia.
Massimo, I wanted to ask something. The biggest argument we were going to get into it is from the regular people is that how can so many people be in on this?
Yeah.
I don't think you get into those rooms to play this character that they want you to play unless they absolutely know you're playing ball, whether it's blackmail or you've shown some initiation to get into that room. You don't get into that room. When NASA shows up, 20 people in the room going, yay, we landed on Mars, when we're really in Greenland. Those people are hand selected to go into that room and play that role. What are your thoughts?
My thought is that actually that is the large room. There's a smaller room, and the chances are that the people in the large room are the first ones to actually be duped. In other words, you have this image, the famous image, of the lamb landing on the moon, and it's a small step for mankind, whatever he said, big step, whatever, and everybody cheers. Those people cheering, I believe they're absolutely convinced that we went to the moon. But what they're watching a videotape on a screen. The actual communications is a separate section, and I have the feeling that those 400 or 500 people in that room are the first ones to be duped. You cannot afford, this is right, this concept is correct. You cannot have everybody in it and know about it because somebody would just say, but you don't have to have so many people in it. All you need is very few people, and all the rest are the first victims of your own hoax.
Yeah, but isn't it true? Like, for example, the JFK assassination, you look at 9/11, you look at the OKC bombing, you look at even the COVID thing going on right now. there's so many people who are talking, who are whistleblowers, and they're silenced, they're killed, they're, they have suicides or they have mysterious deaths. So anytime somebody's like, well, if this was a giant conspiracy, why didn't I hear about it? It's because they do a great job at silencing those voices. And when you control the media and the TV, the place and the newspapers and the places you would hear those whistleblowers, then where would you hear their voices anyways? You're not going to hear them.
Let me give you the best examples with the JFK assassination. One of the arguments by those who defend the official version is that that would take so many people to be in it that sooner or later somebody would talk. Why hasn't anybody talked? The point is that people have talked. People who participated in the Kennedy assassination have confessed that they did, but we never heard about it unless you're studying the story. Howard Hunt, on his deathbed, he confessed to his son. He left a recorded confession to his son. Howard Hunt was the CIA man and then the Watergate man. And he was always suspected to having been in Dallas on November 22nd, 63, but was never proven. He actually admitted to having been there and with the people, and he even names of CIA. I think he names Cord Meyer and the other one I don't remember, Morales, people from the CIA who were there and participated into the assassination.
So what I did there is I muted us, Fitch, and I'm going to bring us back in. I'm going to rejoin that in a bit. I've never talked to Massimo over there. Hopefully, yeah, it looks like we're muted over there. Everything's all right. Sam Tripoli's over there. I see Ryan Christian. I'm going to rejoin that after Mixed Martial Mindset. What I did want to talk to you about, on top of all the other really important stuff that we did talk about today, was a little bit of MMA. Again, Pitbull looking vicious, almost unstoppable.
But that's the thing is, like, what, how high can he go fighting Bellator? Like, eventually, he has to jump. He has to jump ship.
He's got to make that $1 million, and then he can jump ship. But I think you're right. I think both Pitbull brothers are top 5 guys in the UFC at the very least, and maybe even champions. But again, you're right. They got to jump ship. Jason Jackson comes out, beats up Neiman Gracie. He's been on a roll. He looked way comfortable on the ground. Pretty exciting stuff.
Yeah, it was a close fight. Neiman had him in the first, had his back, but couldn't put him away. And then he kind of went too much into kind of the jiu-jitsu game, straight on his back. Wasn't working hard to get up on top and get top positions. Ended up losing, kind of not that eventful rounds because he was spending too much time on the ground. But yeah, Jackson was game for sure.
Absolutely. And then, Fitch, to wrap it up, I want to talk about the Venom deal and how the fighters, literally, you might as well have a glass-fisted anus for what they're going to be making in this Venom deal.
Yeah, it's the champion. Your champion makes $42,000, I think. That was the top tier. So that means Conor McGregor makes $42,000. John Jones makes $42,000. They make $42,000 in sponsorship for their fight. That's asinine. That is ridiculous. These guys are drawing the same eyes as Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua and Canelo and or comparable numbers. Like, the idea that these guys should be making tens of thousands of dollars in sponsorship is just, it's atrocious. People should be disgusted.
I 1,000% agree with you, my friend. I think that's going to do it for Mixed Martial Mindset. You got anything else? What do you got coming up, John? Tell people about the website.
So we were supposed to get a decision from Judge Bulworth today, but he postponed until Friday, and we should have a write-up on the class certification, which means the UFC will then file an appeal, and then hopefully that appeal will be dealt with in a timely manner. That nothing else has been timely though, so whatever. But yeah, then that's a game changer. We're looking at trial after that, so it's very good for the fighters. But the fighters do have to keep aware that there's slime ball lawyers jumping out trying to net some fighters who are unaware that they're a part of the class. They're being represented in any way. They already have lawyers. If they pick up new lawyers, they're just giving some guys who didn't do any work money. they're just giving them some of the money out of the pot. So stay away from those guys. Other than that, sign up for the newsletter, johnfish.net. I've been in a very successful bulking phase, lifting, and now I need to start doing some cardio. So I'm gonna put together some. I think I'll put together some cardio stuff because I got to do different cardio now because I'm not like grappling and sparring every day.
Gotcha. Well, Fitch, thegruelingtruth.com, Rockfin for both of us. Maybe we should get together this weekend. There's a fight night. It's Vettori versus Holland. Now, it's actually a solid fight night. A lot of veterans on it. We could have covered it more, but honestly, the news right now is a lot more important. Plus, if we get that ruling, maybe we can work it into a broadcast with that stuff. Fitch, I love you, brother. I'm going to jump back over to there in a while, guys, but what you'll have to do is you'll have to probably go to Rockfin for that stuff.
Get an account.
Get the free account. I've been putting a lot of stuff out there that I haven't been putting on YouTube, and I'm going to just pre-record this. I'm not going to go live on YouTube. So go make that free Rockfin account, and if you have a premium membership for John or myself, you get all of our premium content. I started to throw up some throwbacks with Alex Jones from 11 years ago, and I'm going to start throwing up my my interviews with like Max Kaiser from 2009, talking Bitcoin 12 years ago up there this week as well. So, Fitch, I love you, and I'll see you on the flip, brother.
All right. Check you later.
Peace out.